Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode with today we're gonna be with Hanna Petersen. She's from UK and I'm really looking forward for the next couple episodes because they're gonna be really exciting. We're gonna be talking with the girls from the British national team, how they came up to be this year. There are 6 girls in Ventana, Mexico, and I think for now this is the biggest national team I've ever seen in terms of boys and girls. So it's going to be really interesting to look in how the whole country came up together with the big team, the coaches, how they developed strategies, and how the girls came up to be from different backgrounds, from sailing, from freestyle, from a bunch of extreme sports. So this is Hanna Petersen from UK. She told me that she's, what was your background job?
Geophysics.
Geophysics.
Yeah.
And she was a professional sailor before. So let's start from your background.
Yeah, my background. So I've got a degree in geology, and after being at university in London, I spent 3 years working in that industry in geophysics. But from a sporting background, my background is sailing. So I've done a lot of dinghy sailing, and then most recently a lot of keelboat sailing. I was part of a women's match racing team for a couple of years when I was at university. And we won the university match racing worlds, so we were at quite a high level. And then of course I went into industry after university, so sporting got put sort of to the back foot a little bit. And then this summer I decided that I wanted to change that, and I heard of this amazing opportunity to become part of a kite surfing squad.
Then you campaigned for the Olympic Games in new sport?
So I ended up giving up my geophysics career. And here I am now, 6 months down the line, living the dream in Mexico.
What was the first time you tried kite surfing in general?
I started kite surfing about 1.5 years ago for the first time. But bearing in mind I did have a job at that point, so I wasn't really pushing it.
So it was more like a weekend kiter?
Exactly. And then it was probably this summer that I really got into kite surfing, and then I heard about this campaign, and the British campaign was called Kite for Gold. And there was a big application process.
Tell me more, because I've seen the posters, and I've heard the numbers that there would be like up to 150 girls who applied, and only 6 get chosen. So tell me more about this whole process, of the choosing the girls.
Yeah, so I heard well over 100 people applied. It was an open application for British sports people between the age of, I think it was 17 to 28, that had some sort of sporting background and competitive nature. So you could have been a surfer, a sailor, a kite surfer. There was a big range of different people. And then from that 100 so applications, 21 girls were selected for a month of intense training and selection process in the UK. So this was October, and myself and these 20 girls, we were kiting every day, mainly with surfboards, so doing directional work. There was a mix of abilities, so some girls had never even touched a kite before, and they were learning to kite surf in a month. And then others had a kiting background, and we were learning to do tacks and jibes on directional surfboards.
And when the first time you tried the foil?
That was towards the end of that process, so end of October was the first time I jumped on a beginner foil and did the rodeo riding up and down.
Nice. And then you went to Mexico, the whole team?
Yeah, so from that, at the end of October, beginning of November, we had 2 regattas in the UK on surfboards, and the selected girls competed in that. And it was basically your results from the regatta and how quickly you had improved over the last month and your mentality. From that, 7 girls were selected, and 7 girls came out to Mexico in January.
I can tell that the process you went through is, I think, by far the most extensive one and the most professional one.
Yeah.
And I think it's really the way the National Sailing Federation in UK works. It really works fine. And you said that the campaign name was Kite for Gold.
Kite for Gold.
So, as I assume the objectives you got from the federations that you need to win the gold in 2024?
That's the aim.
Are there going to be any additional rounds of qualification for the national team?
Yeah, so there's constant reapplication and reselection. Every, I think it's sort of 3 to 4 months, the team will be looked at and reselected.
Okay.
So you have to keep on improving, and they may not continue with 7 people on the team. And this is actually only the senior squad. There is a youth squad coming up in the background that's sort of under 18s.
Okay.
But there will be constant reselection, so you have to ensure that you're improving and you're.
Do you know anything about the boys? Because I know that obviously we have in top 10 a couple of really good UK guys.
Yeah.
But is there any, let's say, youth upcoming boys generation?
I believe British Sailing are planning on having the same for the youth men as well.
Okay.
Having some sort of formal selection process, but to be honest, I don't know the details.
Okay. Do you have coaches assigned to you?
Yeah, so at the moment we've got Johnny Hutchcroft is our assigned UK coach, and he was in Mexico for 6 weeks, specifically to coach the 7 girls out here. And then coming on to this year, there is going to be coach training weekends and weeks during the summer. And I think as the program evolves, the coaching will evolve. Within the selection process last October, we mixed with a whole range of different kite surfing coaches.
Yeah, because this one I think is the sailing is a bit different from kite surfing, and I think it's also going to be a process for the sailing coaches to learn more about the insides of the kite surf racing.
Yeah.
The sport generally is more dynamic, and when everything happens at the faster speed, the reaction time, just the way you think, it's a bit different. So, is there going to be any specific, if you know, specific approach for coaches in the UK national team?
Yeah, I think more of the sailing coaches are becoming involved with kite surfing and trying to get the understanding. And I believe British Sailing are really trying to create a connection between the tactical sailing coaching and then the technical kite surfing, and trying to bring that together.
Okay.
And we actually have such an array of really high level coaching from both sides that bringing them together will hopefully create a really competitive team.
I think it's definitely will do with this approach to the whole process of creating a team, how you approach the trainings, the coaches. It's definitely the right approach to be the best in the world. And how many events in general do you plan to visit this summer?
Well, that's personally, I want to try and do 6 major events to try and get a really good world ranking this year. So we've got the Pro Tour here this week in Mexico. That's going to be the first one to kick off.
Is it your first Kitefoil event, international?
I did the La Ventana Classic.
How did you do that?
In January. That was a very exciting event because I'd only sort of really got into foiling very recently then, so it was a little bit more like survival, but we got around and it was windward leeward racing, so it was just an understanding of what goes on pre-start and the understanding of the racing.
Was it in Levitan Classic, was it just the one fleet you had?
Yes.
How did you feel the difference between the starts on the boats and with the customer? Because in the boats you can't, I know that you feel like you can just choose the position and kind of stays there stationary.
Yeah.
But on a kite, if you stop, you drown. So you always need to be moving. How do you feel about this theory?
I think there's a big crossover, personally, especially if you are used to skiff racing. So you have to be approaching the start line with a bit more pace. You can't just be standing stationary. I actually think that there is a big crossover between sailing and kite foiling.
You felt really confident.
Yeah, I did. And even though at that point I didn't have the technique for foiling, I was quite confident, especially in the starting area. And I'm actually really excited to now go into the Pro Tour with more understanding of kite foiling and control of kite foiling to actually be able to approach the races a bit more competitively.
And I think you switched the kites as well, right? Because at the Levitan Classic, do you use the inflatable kites or
I had half and half.
Half and half, and now
whereas now I have all fly surfer.
What's the difference for you? Do you like more the inflatable kites or
I much prefer the foil kites.
Foil kites.
They're much more stable. It's easier to foil with. They help you out.
Definitely, I think they did just push the progress to the next level.
Yeah,
your
I
level
agree.
overall.
I actually wish I'd transferred to them quickly.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you? What's your most confident skill in foiling right now? Is it tuck, jibe, downwind, upwind, start?
Oh.
What?
I think I think upwind.
Upwind is
I'm really happy with my upwind positioning, and then jibing. I'm becoming very comfortable with jibing.
And what's the most hard thing for you to learn?
Oh, tacking.
To master.
Tacking is really tricky, especially when you go between the different size kites. It makes the timing very different. I think it's a technique that will click one day, and it hasn't fully clicked for me yet.
It just takes time and practice in the water, hours.
Yeah.
And usually one day, it works like this. You push, and you can kite like for months, and nothing would be better. But then one day you go out and boom, you're next level.
I'm really looking forward to that day.
And it's really exciting and it's amazing. It's also amazing, especially when it clicks just before the event.
Yeah.
And you know that you work hard now. You're ready to push 100%. We have for this second season we have a really nice segment. I call it the Blitz Questions. That's where you have I ask you quick questions. You just answer them quickly.
Okay.
And I think just a really funny part to add to our conversation. And so far, everyone who was on the show enjoyed it a lot. So the first question is: do you drink tea with milk?
Yes, always with a bit of milk.
Like sugar?
No sugar.
Okay.
Sweet enough.
Sweet enough. If peanut butter wasn't called peanut butter, what would it be called?
Oh, if peanut butter wasn't called peanut butter. Oh, I love peanut butter. It would be something delicious, like nutty goodness.
That's a good one. Is cereal a soup?
Sorry?
Is cereal a soup?
Cereal a soup?
Yeah, is it a soup?
No.
Why not?
Because it's not liquefied.
It is.
Cereal isn't liquefied.
Yeah, well, when you add milk.
Yeah, but no, cereal's not a soup.
Okay.
Because it's not good warm either, and soup's lovely when it's warm.
Yeah, Spanish soup is also lovely when it's cold. Tomato soup, really nice.
I don't think I agree with that one.
Okay. What's the most beautiful place you've ever been to?
Oh, wow, that's tricky. I had an amazing road trip around Iceland a few years ago, and some of the glacier lakes in Iceland were phenomenal. They had black sand beaches and these turquoise icebergs just floating in the water, and that was absolutely beautiful.
What's the right age to get married?
The right age to get
married?
Oh, that's controversial, but I would probably go older because that's my opinion. Let's go 33.
33? If you were a tree, what kind of tree will you be?
An oak.
Oak, okay.
So wise and old.
How would you describe color yellow to a blind man?
Bright and warm.
Right, okay, that's nice. If you woke up and you had 2,100 emails and you could only answer 300, how would you choose which one to answer?
I would just start at the recent one and work from there.
This one? Okay.
Yeah.
And why are the manholes a circle around?
The manholes a circle?
Yeah, round. Why are they round?
Oh, I don't know why they're round.
Do you?
No. I think they could be triangle.
Yeah, that's the question. And how lucky are you?
Exceptionally lucky.
So are you looking to give this event?
Yes.
Okay. How you think you can do this event for yourself?
For me, I'm really excited to see my personal improvement. So this is going to be a personal test to see how much I've improved since I've lived out here for the last 2.5 months. So rather than looking at the numbers on, my ranking where I come,
basically just
I just want to see myself, how I compare, one to the other girls, but also getting around the course, how many falls, hopefully how little falls there are.
If you would, what would you do if you found a penguin in the freezer?
If I found a penguin in the freezer?
Yeah.
I would adopt it happily.
Okay. And look, this is the final one. This one's an important one,
Okay.
so please pay attention. What do you think cats dream about?
What do you think cats dream about?
Yeah.
Chasing mice and being stroked next to a fire.
Okay, that's a good question. I like it.
Yeah. What
How do you
amazing questions.
That was it. That was the second.
Thank goodness for that.
I think it adds some fun
Yeah.
to the show. How do you like La Ventana?
Ventana's amazing. It's an incredible place for kiting. When I first got here, it's quite bad. There's not a huge amount of resource here, but I've really grown to love it. The beach is beautiful. It's really safe. The amount of times that unfortunately I've had to do deep water pack downs and drift downwind, and yeah, you feel safe.
What about this spot would you recommend this place for anyone who wants just to wants to try to train foil?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's really great. It's a great climate. The weather's so varied, so you get to use all of your different quiver of kites.
Okay.
And in general, the water's quite flat, I think, compared to most places where you'd get higher winds.
Yes.
So for foiling and for learning, I've learned so much here and really enjoy it, and I hope to come back next year.
Yeah, I've been coming here for the last 3 years and love it. I think in winter it's one of the best places to train, because in Europe it's pretty cold.
Yes.
And in Europe, in England, do you have a home spot close to you?
Yeah, so South Coast, so Hillhead, Weymouth is probably going to be my home spot from now on.
What's the season would be there? Because what I've seen that Guy and Ollie, because they're from Weymouth, they would be kiting in the winter with just gloves and boots.
Before we came out here, I was kiting out there with boots, gloves, a balaclava hat on, but it's cold, and the problem with that is that you can't have more than one session a day really, unless you can go home and have a shower and go back out again, because it gets so cold, and once you've been out for an hour or two, it's
I think also the thing is
survival.
with the lots of wetsuit equipment, you lose the feeling.
Yeah.
And you do this stuff, but you don't really feel, and you don't really learn as good as you can with a light wetsuit and with no wetsuit. Definitely.
No, exactly. But I think if you want to have maximum time on the water, which at the level that I'm at, I need maximum time, you need to be in a place where you're comfortable having 5 hours a day on the water and you're not getting cold.
When is the season you would say the good season for foiling in Weymouth?
Summer is really good.
June, July, August?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, up to sort of October actually.
Okay. Perfect. What's your Instagram? We're gonna put the link here down below.
Hannah Peters Kite.
Hannah
That's my
Peters
Instagram.
Kite. Also, I'm gonna put it here as well, because I've saw the big Instagram for the whole GB
GB Kite Girls.
GB Kite Girls. It's gonna be here. There's gonna be all the girls on this Instagram. Do you have any sponsors? Major one that you would like to put here?
Not as such.
Not yet,
British Sailing.
British Sailing.
Support us. UK Sport is our funding party for British Sailing. So they're sort of our big ones, and the UK National Lottery provide all the funding for UK sailing.
Amazing.
So a big thank you to them.
Amazing, and I think it's the UK in general is the country to look up for other sailing national and any sailing organizations in the world, for how to organize the team and how to fund them. I think what you guys doing in the UK is an amazing job. And we're gonna finish around here. There's a camera. Just look at it and say what's on your mind. Say what you think is right now is important. It's gonna be wishing happy birthday or good night, or just some inspirational thoughts.
Yeah. Well, I just want to
look at the camera and say
good luck to all of the GB Kite girls that are competing at the Pro Tour event, and I am so excited to be part of this team with you all, and I'm excited to see what this year brings, because I think it's a big change for us all, and we'll be travelling around doing the Pro Tour events, the Gold Cup and the World Championships.
Thank you, that was amazing. Guys, thank you very much, and as usual I'm trying to post daily, weekly, every Wednesday. Tune in, next couple of episodes is gonna be amazing because we're gonna be having the interviews with every single girl we're gonna try from the British team. It's gonna be amazing to look at their backgrounds and see how they came up to be here in Ventana for their first international event, the biggest one of the season in March. Thank you very much and see you next Wednesday. Bye!